Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam. Good morning. Welcome to the Java Cafe, Java fam.
Good morning, everybody. Excuse me. Good morning, everybody. Interesting tech this morning. First day getting back and having to set everything up. Please do me a favor and let me know if you can hear me. Wi-Fi was trying to act and I didn't have the interface hooked up, so that's why you guys didn't hear anything in the beginning. But let's go in and say good morning. We have a guest coming in, the Chief of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion, my good friend and brother Shagun Idawu will be with us shortly. I just checked with him to make sure he was all set with the link. Mama Java, good morning. As you can see, I am back in Boston, safe and sound. We definitely want to keep the people of Florida in our prayers. Stacy, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Look out for an email from me. Opal, good morning. Good to see you in the room as well this morning. Soraya, good morning to you. Good to see you in the room. Pastor Marion, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Is there a testimony this morning from you? Tell us something that you have to testify about, Pastor Marion. Dina, good morning. Good to see you in the room. It was good to see your face a couple of weeks ago for the recording of your Healthy Java. Speaking of your Healthy Java, everyone, let me just go ahead and plug this. Please don't forget that on this Saturday at 10 a.m., we are going to be at the 12th Baptist Church. We have a wonderful group of providers coming from Massachusetts General Hospital. I'll mention them in a few moments, but don't forget. And if you have attended a Java with Jimmy event, or if you sang in the gospel choir for the mayor's event, I took all of those emails and kind of sent out an early registration. Now, you do not have to register to attend. You don't have to pre-register. When you get there, we do want to collect your information and be in touch with you to share information. But there is a raffle going on, and you can get $100 Stop and Shop gift card. What you have to do is be one of the first 50 people to register. Right now, registration is only sent. That link is only private to the Java with Jimmy fam and those that sing with the gospel choir. At 12 noon today, I'm dropping that registration and making it public. The first 50 people that register, out of them, the first 25 that show up at 12th Baptist Church at 10 a.m. on next Saturday are automatically entered to receive a raffle, to receive $100 gift card. So go ahead and register. Check your email. If you've attended a Java with Jimmy event, if you sang with the gospel choir, if you came to a Java cafe, you have an email in your inbox or in your spam or junk folder. So go look for that email. A few folks I think we have 10 people that have registered. And so there are 40 slots left for this raffle. There are other raffles. We have a live DJ coming. But let me go back and say good morning and just make sure that everyone is good this morning as far as getting in the room. Okay. I just got a different text. Let me just check email to make sure his staff is all set. Hold on. We did kind of put this together last minute because we do want to talk about the legacy project that Brother Shagun is doing. But let me go back and finish saying good morning to everyone. Dina, I left off with you. Sister Debbie, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Daryl, listening in from Tennessee. Good morning, sir. Good to see you in the room. Auntie Java, good morning. Good to see you. Rena, good morning. Seeing you all, and I don't think Miss Teresa, she is here, right here. So do me a favor, the mother's board, Rena, Ma, Auntie Java, Sharon Cornelius, Leslie, and I think that is Sister Debbie. I don't know if you're coming, but we'll still get you one, Pastor Marion and Sister Soraya. Please inbox Miss Teresa your shirt size. I'm not going to show you all, but Miss Teresa is working on something that people will know that y'all are the mother's board. Well, obviously, I said send your shirt size. So she's making you guys some T-shirts for the mother's board. So please inbox Miss Teresa. I'm going to put her name up here on screen so you can see that. Y'all are probably already friends and all that. Teresa minus Santana. Inbox her. Let her know I'm a Java with Jimmy mother's board member and send her your T-shirt size. All right. So that's Auntie Java, Sister Leslie, Rena, Pastor Marion, Sister Soraya, Mama Java, Auntie Java, Rena, I think I got, and Sister Debbie. I got everybody for the mother's board. Rachel, good morning. Good to see you in the, Stacy, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Lord, I can't see. Messing with the comments. Props, good morning, brother. Good to see you in the room. 150.25. What is that, the cost of the T-shirt, or how many T-shirts are being made? Sister Teresa is doing that as a gesture of her heart, as we say here in Boston. Auntie Java says her testimony, thankful for the sciences. Got my cortisone shots yesterday and a bit achy, but mobility is better. Thank God for that, Auntie Java. Let me check. Ma, inbox her. You can, I guess y'all can go ahead and put it here. Miss Teresa, if that's okay with you, they can put it here. Charlotte, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Speaking of Charlotte, I need to mention to you all, On Monday, October 10th, yours truly is receiving a BICA award. And I'll explain more about that later, but I have shared it on my page. It's the Helping Hands Award for this national group. There's the Boston chapter that Charlotte is a part of. And so I've shared it on the page. Please plan on coming out on the 10th. I'll get more information out to you all about that. We are also going to see the exhibit at the MFA on October 8th. And so October 8th and October 10th, the Java fam is going to get together and go spend some time together, support Sister Charlotte. And don't forget, Thaddeus has photos at the MFA as well. And then if you all will, please come out and support me on October 10th. All right, let me just check and see what's going on here, Jesus. No email, no text. Okay. All right. I told him, if y'all know Shagun, I told him 9:15. And brother Carlos is in the room watching. He texted me and he didn't say anything. Whatever. Talking about I look as pale as I did when I left. Whatever. Some people have already, maybe it's the light. Some people already have seen it. Got a little bit of melanin I do have. It's enhanced after being down in Miami. Pastor Odom, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Please come out on Saturday as well, sir. It would be good to see you. All right. So Charlotte, I'm not sure yet. I have to check with Rachel about the 8th. We may just need to set a time and let folks know. And Teresa, everybody put their sizes here in the comments. So there y'all go. Tamisha said, I am currently thankful and will remain thankful for being breast cancer free, coming up on 6 months. Misha, I may need to talk to you if you're a little open. I know you weren't an MGH patient, but I may need to talk to you about having you coming on and talk about your experience with getting, finding out the results. You and I shared that, you had to go back a couple of times and get them to do what they were supposed to do forcefully. And so let's check in about that. Kelly, good morning. Good to see you in the room. Tay, good morning. Good to see you in the room. I think I got everybody this morning. Brother Shagun is going to be with us in just a few minutes. But remember, folks, please do not forget the health fair on Saturday. I really need you guys to come and pack the place out. Get the information you need around health. Let me tell you real quick again. Y'all know I do stuff in real time. Let me tell you who's going to be there so far. Hold on. Microsoft Forms. This thing always makes me log in, Jesus. No, that's not the one I want. All right, I'm going to do it on my phone. Hold on for 1 second, guys. We have the breast cancer department from MGH is definitely going to be there. Hold on. Also, the prostate cancer department, the sickle cell department, also Be the Match is a program that basically is right now focusing on making sure that Black and brown people are part of a bone marrow registry. Black folks get leukemia. Black and brown folks get lymphoma, and bone marrow transplants are ways that they can fight, and those are types of cancers. And so they're going to be there as well. Give me just one more second. Jesus. See, I wasn't, I must have forgot that I told the team 9:15, thinking this was going to be, this is my first day back and I'd have a whole lot to catch up with. Hold on. Jesus. All right, hold on. Here we go. That's the sign up form. I'm trying to get the form that tells me who signed up from the providers from MGH. Hold on. Jesus Lord. Now, if I didn't want that form, you know what? I'm so glad so many people signed up to attend. But oh Jesus. Y'all know what? I'm ready to say a few colorful words right now just because I can't find. Here we go. All right. So, and it's going to make me sign in, of course. We also have the sickle cell clinic that will be there. We will also have Massachusetts Prevention of Handgun Violence. They will be there as well. Hold on. I have everything right here. Okay. Here we go. So So far, we have the Massachusetts MGH comprehensive. Carlos is really calling me while I'm. You know what? Oh, he hung up. I was going to say I'm about to answer. We have the Massachusetts General Hospital Comprehensive Sickle Cell Center. We have the MGH Center for Breast Cancer. We have the MGH Center for Cancer and Prostate Cancer Outreach Clinic. We have the National Marrow Donor Program, be the match. Also, the MGH Bridge Clinic. If you all remember, some months ago, we had Jasmine Irvin and also Wendia. I forgot her last name. They were here talking about substance use. And as we talk a lot about mass and cast substance use, they will be, okay, why am I getting phone calls? Did something happen? Hold on for 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry about that. Everything and anything that wants to, I won't say go wrong this morning, but anyway, I thought something was wrong with props calling. We should have Brother Shagun in just a minute, but let me get back to these clinics. The Bridge Clinic will be there, and also the Mass Coalition to Prevent Gun Violence. And let me tell you the other folks that are going to be there as well. There's the sign up form. Those are the MGH clinics. Someone just signed. Y'all ain't playing. Someone just signed up. All right. And the community groups that will be there will be Shaquira's Story, Domestic Violence Consulting and Coaching, also Dee Dee's Cry, Suicide and Prevention and Family Support, as well as Leading Light Behavioral Clinic. They will be there as well. Brother Shagun is in the room, and he's all wonderfully mic'd up with a wonderful professional headphone thing. So let's bring him in real quick. It has been a while. Brother Shagun, I don't think I've had you in since we broke the internet.
No, broke the internet.
It's currently at 127,000 views. I don't know how many impressions, but you know, we had the pleasure of making that announcement and broke the news about this appointment. So I don't think you've been on the show since last time you were here. You were the CEO over at Beckma, and you know, made a wonderful announcement and was a blessing to the platform here. But anyway, enough about that. I know your time is very, very valuable. So.
No. Well, first of all, thank you very much. And you're right. I mean, I was thinking about that when I asked my team to reach out. I was like, when is the last time I was on Java with Jimmy? And it's not been in this role. So I was like, it's 8 months in. Like we're very overdue.
We are very overdue, sir.
Yeah.
We do, you know, stay in contact, but how has it been? I mean, you know, I see from the outside a lot of announcements before you went in. You and Mayor Wu were making announcements. So tell us, how has it been taking this advocacy and activism that you have employed through the years, and now you're inside?
I mean, yeah, it's different. I often say to folks like yourself that have worked in City Hall that, you know, after 8 months now, I have a deeper respect for public servants. So it's just different, you know. I mean, nonprofit work and advocacy work is one type of tired, and this is another type of exhaustion. But I will say, you know, having someone like Mayor, and you know, I would say this whether or not I had this job. I know that now, anytime I say something positive about the mayor, it's like, oh, well, he works for her. So, but I do have to tell you, having someone like Mayor Wu in this position reaffirms the notion of it does matter who's at the top, because the amount of things that we have accomplished in the 8 months that we have been here is, I mean, I can't think of another word besides incredible. Whether it's having to do with contracting, small business support, you know, tourism, you know, development. I mean, all the things that we've done, not just the announced, you know, wins and programs that you mentioned, but even on the inside, the stuff that we see happen every day, you know, the things I was yelling about for 3 years at BECMA, we've accomplished many of them in in the time I've been here so far.
It's so interesting. Converse, and we've conversed, privately about this, but I will say that there was and there is still the sentiment within the community that we know that Brother Shagun, let me actually do it right, Chief Itawu, is going to make sure that we are held down in this opportunity and inclusion space. And again, we've seen the announcements, and shout out to the staff, TJ, DL, Sarah, Daniel, and everyone that made this happen. But one of the major things that you talked about as far as announcements, we got the pleasure a few weeks ago of seeing some throwback Thursday, some throwback prom, some throwback.
Oh Lord!
And I don't have them queued up. If I was really good, I would have them queued up and ready. But why don't you? Maybe I can get them ready. But no, in all seriousness, there was an announcement, and those pictures was centered around something that you guys have released as the Legacy Business Project. Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I knew those photos would haunt me. I don't know why. It was in the moment that I shared them, because we were at Allen's Formal Wear, and I don't know any Black person that's ever worn anything nice that can say that they didn't go through Allen's Formal Wear to
weddings,
right?
Church banquets,
exactly. Right, prom, semi-formals, like it's so. One of the things that we had talked about at BECMA that the mayor actually ran on during the campaign was adopting something that was created out in San Francisco at the height of the 2008 crash, where they saw many of their long-standing businesses having to close up shop pretty immediately because they didn't have cash on hand to survive the economic collapse. And so here in Boston, coming out of the pandemic, on top of economic issues that were happening and hurting our businesses, one of the first things we started doing was working on creating a legacy business program here in the city to help support businesses that have, essentially contributed to the cultural fabric of our communities. And, I set up the announcement and still believe today, I wish this program existed when a Nubian Notion was here. It is precisely the type of program that would have kept that business going, and the generations that have come since it closed, knowing about the business, understanding its purpose and value, and those of us who grew up with it, still enjoying it. So anyway, long and short of it is, for businesses 10 years or older, this is a program that we are going to the community to nominate your favorite legacy business. And once it goes through the process of going through the city council and then through a committee that the mayor has put together, every year we will celebrate and honor 25 legacy businesses from across the city. And they will have access to an immense amount of resources. The council approved our request for a $1 million fund that will provide grants up to $50,000 for each of these legacy businesses. They'll get a plaque, there'll be a ceremony. But the real important piece that's important for these businesses is the access they'll get to technical assistance around succession planning. A lot of our businesses that have been around forever, when the owners or the founders age out, the kids might not want to take it. And so we want to help them think about either how to transfer this business to your legacy, your children, or employee ownership, which we see for businesses like City Fresh. And also acquisition. There are some businesses that have been in the same building for 40 plus years, but they're paying rent to a landlord. They don't own the building. And we want to help them become property owners because that will create a more stable opportunity for them to stay and thrive. So, I'm here today because the nominations close in 3 days on Friday. But we have a healthy number of folks, almost 1,000 people have already nominated a business, and we want to see that number go up before the things close on Friday.
So a few things there, Shagun. One is that this isn't a one-time hit it and quit it just this year, and which would have been, okay, making sort of a one-time investment to get folks sort of over the hump post COVID and things like that. The other piece is, so this is every year 25 businesses will have access to $1 million, some in the form of $50,000 grants, some in the form of TA, technical assistance. And this is ongoing. Is this legislated, or is this just within the Wu administration, as long as you said before, as long as she's at the top?
Well, this is something that we are implementing through our Department of Small Business. And, I would hope that future administrations would not shutter this really important program. It is the most expansive program in the country. We're the only one that's going as low as 10 years. And one of the reasons for that is that, if you look at other cities across the country, they're at, you have to have been around for 40 years or 50 years or 30 years. And that's tough when it comes to Boston, because a lot of Black and brown businesses, if they haven't already closed, they're not at 30 years yet, right? They may have been founded, in the early 2000s or late 90s. And so we wanted to make sure that this was going to be a program that everyone had access to, that, racial equity undergirds everything we're doing. I probably should have started with, even our name and our vision, but, racial equity undergirds all the work we're doing. And so in order to make sure this is a program that was racially equitable, we dropped the barrier to 10 years, because a lot of our businesses have been around that long. So roughly speaking, there may be around 250 legacy businesses across the city. And this is something that, we want to be able to gather every single year to celebrate a new cohort of businesses, and didn't want to do, like you said, a one and done, because we should be honoring them every year.
Absolutely. Let's back up a little bit, as this was your first time. I remember when it was announced, the Black Men and Boys Commission and things like that, there was this sentiment from some folks as to why. I've even heard the term, reverse racism and things like that. Like, why is there a need to have this focus on marginalized communities that typically weren't involved or had access to these resources, from TA to contracts? Why did because when I heard the name of the office change and I heard who was going in, I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So why is it essential that you all are going this way? What impact does that have?
Well, what I'll say is, the mayor knew what she was doing and what she was getting when she asked me to join. And so, I came from leading the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. And, she understands, along with myself and everyone else in our cabinet, and I think across the city, that just because we're focused on particular groups of people does not mean it's to the detriment of other groups of people. I mean, it's like the All Lives Matter debate all over again, right? And that's just recent. This is the same conversation that we're having in the 60s. Why do we have to focus on civil rights just for Black people? Why not civil rights for all? And so, but these examples show one thing to be true, that when we have been focused on Black people or other people of color, and we develop policies and programs around them, everybody winds up benefiting.
Everybody.
It has never worked the other way around, which is why we're talking about the wealth gap, which is why we're talking about health disparities, which is why we're talking about segregation. Because when you look at it from a lens of a rising tide lifts all boats, most people who believe that are already have a boat. So, they're not thinking about the people who don't have one and who will be subsumed when that tide rises.
Hold on. Because I believe in increasing my vocabulary. Subsumed. Please, sir. Spell
overcome, overwhelmed. SUBSUME. I'm pretty sure. But point is that, one thing that the mayor understands, and that for sure we were talking about at BECMA, was that the development of some communities cannot coexist with the underdevelopment of others. And so if people in Back Bay, or in Brighton, or in Jamaica Plain want to believe that their communities are thriving and reaching their full potential, it will never actually get there if Roxbury is underdeveloped, or Mattapan is underdeveloped, or East Boston is underdeveloped, because we are one city. We are not, although there are many neighborhoods, it's one city. And if one part of the community is not doing well, it means none of us are doing well. I mean, that's Fannie Lou Hamer, right? Nobody's free until everybody's free, right? And so that's why it's incredibly important that we are focused on not just equity, because what I'm finding is that people are placing an invisible word before equity, so that it's approving of something that they themselves believe or something related to themselves. For us, we're saying racial equity, because the reason why we're talking about equity in this country is because we watched a lynching 2 years ago of George Floyd.
Yes, sir.
And so we want to be clear that we are focused on racial equity, particularly for Black and Latinx communities, because we know that when we're focused on these communities, everyone else in the city and the Commonwealth are going to benefit.
It is so amazing to again see and hear you in this space and know that this experience, this philosophy and knowledge base is now with the mayor in City Hall. I want to take it a little bit further, Chief Idawu, and ask you, what is the implication of our economic success when it comes to racial equity? Because you're saying racial equity, and some people may not be able to correlate. You're the chief of economics, sort of what folks would know as economic development, money, things like that. And so where is the correlation between the equity of which you speak and how economics play into that?
Well, first of all, it comes from realizing that our communities are already generating so much wealth, not just for themselves, but for the entire city. And, when I think about this particular question, let me backtrack by even saying why we changed the name and what our vision is and how it relates to what you've asked. So as you said, a year ago, if I were on this show, I'd say that I'm the chief of economic development. And when I joined on January 3rd, we changed the name to Economic Opportunity and Inclusion, for really one reason. When you talk to, particularly Black and brown folks, but a lot of people in the city of Boston, particularly when I talked with the mayor about this, what she was hearing is that when the term economic development is used, people recoil at that term. It upsets them, because when they think about the term economic development, what they think about are the conversations around gentrification and displacement. They see the cranes in the skies and don't believe that any of this development is for them or with them, but rather economic development to them, which is pushing them out of the city. And so we changed the name because, although we are focused on creating and fostering opportunities, at the end of the day, that inclusion piece, that equity piece is what undergirds everything that we're doing, as I said. And so our vision now is one of a sustainable and vibrant city that centers people. But the important piece is one that helps people to build generational wealth, which is what we care most about. And so the tie between the equity piece and economic development is that, like I said earlier, every program, policy, idea, statement that's made, or anything that's pushed, we are holding racial equity up as the primary driver and mover, and making sure that communities that have for a long time not been at the table or gotten access to resources are getting the most resources, or the most access to these resources, not again to the detriment of other communities, and in part to make up for what the city has kept people from, but also it's a long-term investment. Again, as I said, where we are right now is because we've done things the opposite way, which is disinvestment in these communities. Now we're talking about a deep investment in these communities so that we are all moving forward together.
Chief, thank you. I just, this brother knows how much I respect him, and along with pictures, and I did find the pictures, and I think I'm just going to hold on to them because I really respect the caliber of person that you are in our city and making this impact. The other piece I wanted to mention to you or ask you about is it is systemic change. You are going in and changing systems. If I may ask, where you can how are you navigating systems that weren't really designed for us to be systems that weren't designed with racial equity in mind? Let me frame it like that. How was that?
Well, it's tough
How
for
was that
all of us.
navigation going, sir?
Yeah, it's tough for all of us, right? Because
Yes.
we're all of us have been and are in positions, in a system or within systems that were designed again in the opposite direction of made to oppress rather than to lift up. And so, again, as I said, it starts at the top. We have a mayor that has pretty much empowered all of her chiefs under this broader vision of racial equity and other items that she's been sharing everywhere, that empowering us to just go do right. And so that, I think, also makes her fundamentally different from previous administrations, where rather than this top down, everything according to what the mayor said, the way the mayor has been operating, and she has said this publicly as well, that I hired people who I believe are the experts to do the work.
Mhm.
I'm going to let them go do the work, right?
Yeah.
In my name, right? As opposed to making all the decisions herself. And so that has been incredibly important, because now it means that when each of us are at the table, people know that we are the ones that are empowered to make decisions and to drive policy and programs, which is just a different way of doing things. The other thing I will say too is that before I came in, after it was announced, some people were warning me. They said, well, you go into government and you're going to meet people who are, they don't want anything to move, because it's just not the way
Mhm.
things have been done. And I got to tell you, like I said, the amount of things we've done in 8 months is not just because of the support of the mayor. It's also because people, it was a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. And we have not found any stumbling blocks on our team or throughout the city, where folks, like, as soon as we have a conversation about something, are immediately focused on how do we get to yes, as opposed to nope, there's no way we can do that, which again is a complete 180 from how government has operated before. And it's no shade to previous administrations. I think we're in a different time. I think COVID got us to Tanya Fanonch Anderson, the District 7 counselor, asked at one of our first hearings, and now I have adopted this question everywhere. Whenever we have a conversation, she asked, is it a law, is it policy, or is it just the way we've always done things? And
Mm.
I think following COVID, so many more people are willing to ask that question. And if it's not in the first two categories, where we find that most things are in the third category, it's the way we've always done things, people are much more willing to make change happen, which again has been incredible. I wish I could find a different word.
I just got a little distracted because I noticed one of your staff members is ensuring that I want to pin this comment. There we go. All right. I pinned the comment for for folks to go and vote. Daniel Laurent is in the room. And so we pinned the comment there, and I'm going to go back to what you said. And so based on what you just said, I really think that it was definite. I mean, everybody knows. I wish I could find a video from that night on Twitter, because outside of the numbers, I remember me yelling in the background, yes, yes, done. But it is this economic piece, I think, is so relevant in a time, as you said, in this race reckoning period. And post George Floyd and COVID, I want to cite the fact that I think that you all doing the 10-year piece is definitely important, because maybe some of these other programs were in place pre-COVID, pre-George Floyd, and so they probably had legacy as 25 years or whatever. 10 years is definitely, in some cases with COVID, if y'all went 5 years, it could have almost covered that. And so is there anything else you want to share with us as far as accomplishments? Or I know we're going to talk about voting. I definitely want to remind people to do that. But do you need anything from the community to help want to hear about a particular thing? I know one of the other things I want to touch on is open streets, because I was a part of that.
Mhm.
But that is something that falls under your shop. And I believe Ashley, what's the young lady's name, your staff member? I know it begins with A, don't get me in trouble.
Oh, is this the director of small business?
Yes.
Alicia Porceno.
Alicia, I'm so sorry if you're watching, but I was close. But talk a little bit about other accomplishments, and maybe end with, we had the last one last Saturday. I'm in the process now of trying to get Shauna, Ayana, Aisha, and there was one more, Dominga. I'm trying to get them on to talk about that, but other accomplishments and with open streets.
Sure. And again, since this is my first appearance, I'll also mention the departments that fall under my
Please do.
cabinet. So we have about 100 full-time employees working in the Economic Opportunity and Inclusion Cabinet, and there are 5 departments. So one is the actual Office of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion, which includes our cannabis equity work, our business strategy unit, which
shout out to Joe Gilmore.
That's right. Our business strategy unit, which is focused on our life science strategy, our tech strategy, supporting startups. Our global affairs team is under that unit. the Department of Small Business, as I mentioned, supplier and workforce diversity, so ensuring that we're getting contracts to more diverse businesses, which I'll talk about. And the fourth is the Department of Tourism, Sports, and Entertainment. And actually, I think that might be it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like there's a fifth one, but anyway, but it's there. I'll remember. Oh, the Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing. So liquor licenses, cannabis licenses, entertainment licenses. So the events that happen. So I say all that to say, when I think about the accomplishments, they are many in the last 8 months under these 5 different departments. A couple that I'll just say, when we first came in, it was Omicron, and we secured $5 million to get grants out to about 1,000 plus small businesses. And I can't see the chat, but I know that there are small businesses that are still waiting for word as to the status of their grants. And we are right now trying to find some additional dollars, because $5 million might sound like a big number, but it goes very quickly when several thousand people reach out. And so I'm trying my best to help make folks whole. So anyway, if folks are still waiting for a word from our small business team, just know that it's my fault, because I'm trying to find some additional.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here.
I have no problem accepting blame when things are my fault, so accountability is important. So there's that. When it comes to contracting, we're not resting on our laurels, but certainly we're very proud of the fact that in April of this year, we announced a $17 million contract to City Fresh Food, which is a Black founded, employee owned, Roxbury based company. Right. And so that $17 million made it the largest contract ever awarded to a certified Black firm in the city's history. And there was actually a Globe article just yesterday, right, about how the kids are receiving that food very well. And, I think one of the headlines or quotes of a kid was, "This looks just like the food that I eat at home." Right. So, sorry.
Time out. So around that announcement happening, me and the big boss we were texting about something, and we were, citing, some of the things or whatever that was going on to kind of counter some of the other stuff. Mm-hmm. And one of the things she kind of, the mayor, she in a nice but smile, petty way, she said, yeah, things that are going on with the contract, and the young people, the students are enjoying their lunch in school now. Yeah. That she actually started advocating when she was actually a city councilor. So I just needed to name that as well, because that is, it's important.
And it was a competitive bid. When this got first announced, of course, there were the trolls who were like, oh, they only got chosen because they were Black. Well, no, they got chosen out of several other vendors that bid on this. They had the best proposal. And as we'll see, they clearly had the best food product. So anyway, mm-hmm. So, but, as was said at the press conference, this was great, but it's can't and won't be the only one. We need to make sure that many more of our companies are getting access to contracts, which is why I was proud of the fact that back in August, during Black Business Month, the mayor signed an order to create a permanent sheltered market program, which is essentially our way, using the disparity study that came out last year, to essentially determine that there are some contracts that can only be awarded to Black or brown or women-owned businesses. And so we are making sure that we're mostly competing against one another as opposed to out-of-state or larger companies, for these major contracts. So, again, all really important wins. When it comes to licensing, 3 of the 4 liquor licenses that have been awarded this year have gone to diverse businesses. The first sit-down restaurant in Mattapan, has a liquor license as a result of the work that Kathleen and her team are doing. And I know that there's frustration with a lot of folks on the availability of liquor licenses, but this is something that, we're hoping to work with the state legislature on next year, because Boston does not get to make its own liquor licenses. So that's a hurdle that we have to overcome. So, this, I can go on and on. I mean, these are a number of things. I will just say on the horizon, the mayor proposed $350 million in ARPA money, the America Rescue Plan Act that President Biden shepherded through Congress last year. And we about 10% of that money came under the umbrella of economic opportunity and inclusion, 25 million of that purely from my shop. And so all that money is going to be used to build programs like a program to help build and scale women and BIPOC owned businesses so that we can no longer get away with the excuse in this city and this Commonwealth that we can't find them or that we don't exist in whatever fields. We're going to fill the gaps with that money. A program to help get women and BIPOC businesses in vacant storefronts across the city, particularly areas where there is very high commercial or foot traffic, like Fenway, Back Bay, Seaport, et cetera. But we'll still focus on the neighborhoods, of course, and other programs, right? There's programs we want to launch that are going to help people acquire their building. The people of Boston should own their building and own their land. And so we're focused on things like that. So I would just say stay tuned for folks. Several more announcements coming, but really what we're focused on is the work. And, just want to appreciate folks like you for helping us get the information out and for sharing with us the feedback that you're hearing on the ground. And you asked the question earlier, what people can be doing. Tell us what you need. Government should be operating for the people. And, we're operating from a standpoint of we are not the experts. The people are the experts. And so you need to tell us what needs to happen, how to change programs that exist or rewrite policies that exist, how to write new policies, what new programs to develop, and to when we call to be at the table. Because all of these programs that I'm sharing with you, there are community members who are building out these programs as opposed to the city saying, in our room here, we put this thing together and then we show up to a press conference to announce it, that we're throwing that model out the window. So anyway, I've gone on long enough.
No, you're good because as you said, I think it's important. And we have a usual higher number of folks that are in the room today. So obviously they really want to hear what you're saying because this economic impact is huge in our community. Last thing that I'll correlate, and we didn't talk a whole lot about open space, but I wanted to do some correlating and get a free plug, and you can do this as well. I heard you use the term social determinants of health. And you'll appreciate this flyer in the next couple of seconds. Look at location and look what we're doing. And so the reason, it's correlating for you is I met this brother. Was it in the community first? And then I think there was the tie to 12th Baptist when I came to 12th Baptist when you were with Counselor Yancey. And so economics and health, sir. I had to, it's a little jokingly when I said put a plug for the health fair we're having at 12th on Saturday, but is there a correlation between economic advancement and our health?
Oh, of course.
So, for a couple of seconds.
I don't know how else to, happy to explain, but it gets bundled up in the yes. And it works on both ends of it, right? Your financial status determines for many people determines how healthy you are and your family. And on the opposite end, how healthy you are determines your financial stability and status. And we have to, really the thing to think about and that we're focused on is intersectionality, right? So the other piece for the mayor is that even though we are the economic opportunity and inclusion cabinet, we are not operating in a silo. And so, we and Dr. Basola Ojikutu, who's the executive director of Boston Public Health Commission, are on a weekly basis engaged in conversation. I'm pointing this way because that's his office. Chief Jose Masso, who's the chief of human services.
He's with us tomorrow, actually. Him and the mayor are with us tomorrow.
Great. So, BCYF and the pools and all that, like all, how we're engaging with families. Trin Nguyen, who's now the new chief of the Worker Empowerment Cabinet, the new cabinet over workforce development. Who else is on? And all these chiefs are just on this floor. So I'm trying to think of all the others. But point is like we are like every day just about always engaging each other because this work is not particular just to one team. All of us have to be working together because all of these things are interrelated and interconnected. And so, yes, to your point, health determines financial outcome and financial status determines health outcome, which is why our goal is to lift the opportunity to build generational wealth for Black and brown families in particular, but for families all across the city. Because if we don't have a healthy populace, the economy of our city and our region are going to be depressed for many generations, and we don't want that. So,
Okay. I was almost at Rev. Chief Itawu, I really it is just refreshing, encouraging, and amazing to know that you talk about the mayor being at the helm, but you being at the helm of this particular area. I think folks that didn't know, or that may know you, are walking away with increased confidence, but maybe a new level of confidence in what is happening with economic opportunity and inclusion here in Boston. And so I think we've covered everything. As I said before, the link to go and vote for. Do you know? I know you said you had about 1,000 submissions of voting. Do you know how many organizations have been submitted?
well, I know that our goal is to get to over 100 businesses nominated. So I
Okay.
think we're nearing that. But, last minute push to make sure that we hit that number or exceed it. So, so any business that is 10 years or older, there are a whole bunch of them in the city. And, we hope you'll send in that nomination. We want to, and if they don't get honored this year, certainly there's the opportunity to get them next year or the year after. But there's all these other programs to help these businesses too, not just the legacy business program.
Absolutely. Chief Itawu, thank you so much. And I'm available, the platform is available anytime to make sure that we get and keep this type of information out there. And then, with the new independent, is it independent or the workers, if you all are doing any investment into, this new budding sole proprietor entrepreneurial space, that would be a wonderful resource that would be wonderful if made available to folks. you know, um, my brother knows I cannot have him around without putting in an ask. But no, in all seriousness, man, I'm so proud of you. And keep doing what you're doing. And I love that you also named accountability. And we've had, not so much about your shop, but those conversations. And again, I'm here. The platform is here. And let us know when you need us. And
Yeah, well,
hopefully, if you're around, stop through the old stomping grounds on Saturday for
yeah,
the
yeah,
health
for
fair.
sure. And, I'll talk with my team about a more regular
Yeah,
engagement. Yeah,
absolutely. And you or the staff or anyone. And again, shout out to TJ, Daniel, and Sarah for making this happen. But yeah, let me know.
sounds good. Thank
All
you
right.
very much
Thank you,
for the
Chief.
opportunity. All right.
Bye-bye. Listen, that was one of our most comprehensive interviews with our city officials. And I hope you're walking away with the new level of knowledge and also encouragement that we have somebody like him at that helm there for economic opportunity. And I hope you all didn't think it was too far fetched to do the correlation between economic development and also our health. Please don't forget this Saturday. And while I was checking my phone, I saw some folks sign up. Don't forget to sign up to be eligible to be entered into the raffle. First 50 people that sign up, you are eligible. Then show up. Out of the first 25 that show up on Saturday, you're automatically entered into a raffle to win a $100 gift card, Stop and Shop gift card to go make some healthy food choices at Stop and Shop. We have other gifts. We're giving away the Java with Jimmy candles. We're going to give away the Java with Jimmy. Let me do a little, there it goes. We're going to give away some candles, some t-shirts, some gift cards. But most importantly, that health information is going to be there available to you. This bone marrow piece and breast cancer, you all just heard my sister talk about it. A lot of people didn't go in for health screenings and stuff during COVID. And not doing that, whatever was going on with your body is now 2 years in. And so now you're almost kind of behind the curve. So come out, talk to folks. A little disclaimer, they're not going to examine you, but you can get some information and talk about your symptoms. We have some world-class level doctors and nurses that are coming to be a part of this. So come and take advantage of this information. Everybody that has networks and work with the community, I need y'all to ensure that we have not, Cindy Diggs and MGH has been doing a lot around getting MGH out there with health information. But this sort of old school health fair that we used to have back in the day, you come in, you get a bag, you go out and get your pamphlets, some swag, keychains, stuff like that. I don't know what's going to be there with the vendors, but the health information is the most important thing. And so that's why we're making this investment for you to come. Some will get, prizes for being present, but even if you don't get a prize, you get the prize of health. Healthcare matters. Get it when and where you can, in the words of our Dr. Alabre. I think that's it for me this morning. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we will have our monthly session with Mayor Wu. We need to know Wednesdays with Wu. We're going to talk a little bit about mass and cast. We're definitely going to talk about public safety, and then also some other things that the administration is doing. And then at 9:30, Chief Ida will refer to Chief Masso. Jose Masso, who is a young person that is not young no more, but I met him as a young person, and to see him evolve into this position, and we'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow. But another young man that I'm very proud of, he is the Chief of Human Services, and some of the departments that fall under him are Veterans Benefits, Office of Returning Citizens, and BCYF, which the SOAR program was under. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but we're also going to talk about the fact that Human Services Week is next week, I believe. And so that office is doing a lot to highlight human services, economic development, as Chief Idawu made mention, the intersectionality of them are very important. And so tomorrow, Mayor Wu at 9, Chief Masso at 9:30. And then on Thursday, we will definitely not be live. I have the privilege and opportunity of providing some technical support to the the Men of Color Dinner Group. The Men of Color Dinner Group. Yeah, they're having their national conference on Thursday and Friday, and yours truly has been asked to do the stream and also provide some technical support. And so that's beginning bright and early on Thursday morning. So we will not be live Thursday morning, but we will be back with you on Monday, October 4th. All right. So tomorrow morning, Mayor Michelle Wu, Chief Masso, Mayor Michelle Wu at 9 a.m., Chief Masso at 9:30. And then we will not be back with you until Monday. Nikki, love you. Good to see you in the room. Teresa, thank you for everything. Teresa, did you get all the information you need? I do need to call you as soon as Uncle Thaddeus, if you come out on Saturday, I will make sure that I have your t-shirts. Actually, I'll be honest with you. The night we were at the ICA, I got ready to run out, and I'm like, grab the t-shirt or be late. Grab the t-shirt or be late. I was on time. I appreciate you, Uncle. I appreciate you so much. Oh, God. So hold on. Listen, I got to get this right. Hold on. Daniel is going to get me. Daniel Laurent. I have been calling this young man Daniel Laurent because of the way he spells. I see the U and just think I give him some French background. Daniel DL, we appreciate you not only for your artistry and advocacy in the community using the arts, but also Daniel is now part of Chief Idawu's department and is doing some great work there. And I was taking long to get back to his administration, and Daniel texted me and said, hey, we're trying to reach out. So appreciate you, brother. Miss Teresa, we have your shirts and mugs. We got to figure out a way to get you down here to Boston. But I got you. Everything is covered. And also, Pastor Marion, we have your mug as well. And so, all right, folks, that's it for me. I am going to spend the next 2 days getting ready for Saturday because Thursday and Friday, I'm off site at the conference. So guess who has to be ready for the health fair on tomorrow? By like 3 p.m. Yours truly. So if I don't answer the phone today, if I don't get back to emails until Monday, don't be surprised, Jesus. All right. Again, thank every one of you for tuning in today. Thank you for the support. Nikki and others that work with those that need this information, please share the flyer. At 12 noon today, we're going to open up registration to everybody. Pre-registration is not required unless you want to be in this early raffle. There'll be other raffles and tickets. We're going to do a couple of games where if you have certain things in your pocketbook, you get this, you get that. We're going to have gift cards. Also, we're going to have a live DJ. We're going to have a live DJ there. And also, how could I forget, the MGH community van is going to be there. And let me just tell you real quick what the van is going to offer. They're going to be with us the entire time from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I really need to start having notes. Hold on, y'all. I just be honest. And Props we've been debating and fussing and whatnot. It's very interesting managing all of this. Thank God for Tay for doing the schedule. Keys helps out with stuff. Props does some content, but then also branding, but just the everyday. Yeah, it's a lot. All right. So I want to tell you all who is coming. I mean, what the van is going to offer you. When did I send that? I sent that on Friday. Hold on. Thank y'all for y'all patience. Hold on. Where is the email? Leah Gordon. Oh, Jesus. Let me find it on the email real quick. They are going to give, I know they're going to have the latest iteration of the vaccination. They're going to give out COVID testing kits. Hold on for 1 second. MGH van. Okay, hold on. I should have it in 1 second, hopefully. No, I don't. It's a whole list, and I had an email. Anyway, they're going to give out COVID testing kits, the vaccination, the booster, and I'll put it, there's a flyer coming out about those that will be at the health fair. So, of course, because I want the information right now, I can't find it. All right, folks, I'm getting frustrated, so I'm going to get off of here. And I will see you guys. Just check the comments one more time before we go. Sharon, yep, I saw that you registered. Lasagna, leave me alone. Lasagna, text me back. All right. Have a good day, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. with Mayor Wu. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to register. Don't forget to come on Saturday. All right, y'all. Peace.